What is going on, guys and girls? How are you doing today? It's Anger Roleplay here once again. So I want to show you guys the last build of the Blight League that I did, and it was an absolute fucking blast. Literally, I was blasting through things and it was enormous fun. So what this build is about is a self-casting FROSTBOLT with the Ice Nova, and this is a pretty popular build, but like 99% of the players are using cast on crit with the cost prismatis, and some people use Pledge of Hands as a self-casting variation, but I pushed it way further than this, and I want to present you the absolute GG FROSTBOLT Ice Nova Assassin build. Let's get going. Before we go further into the video, I would like to stop for a second and thank my Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers. You guys have no fucking idea how much I'm thankful for you. If you just stop for a second and put likes on this video and share it with your friends, it will be already an insane amount of support, and I will be forever grateful to every one of you. Thank you so much, and remember,
you, yes you, are making a difference.
So what's the build is about? It's about casting FROSTBOLT and then a follow-up casting the Ice Nova. And for quite a long time, these skills were absolutely separate. They had no interaction. But a couple of patches ago, I think about a year ago, they added the interaction where you can throw in the FROSTBOLT and then you can start casting the Ice Nova, and the Ice Nova effectively started casting like over the FROSTBOLT. As the FROSTBOLT flew over, it starts following and casting and replicating the Ice Nova cast there. So it was possible for a very cool interaction which dramatically increased the damage, because Ice Nova by default casts like underneath you in the place of the caster, but this way you can do a really massive AoE damage, and not only they utilize fully the FROSTBOLT and also emphasize greatly the damage and AoE of the Ice Nova on top, thus effectively making like a two strong call skills building together and do a pretty decent amount of damage. One important thing to understand about the build is how is it different from the other build existing, and I specifically checked this setup that I use, that I've developed, and not a single person uses this exact setup on the PoE Ninja. So I think this thing that I did is pretty unique, and this is one of the variations that I really wanted to experiment with. First of all, there's no cast on crit, there's no cost price, there's no cyclone there. As you can see, there's a self-cast variation. At the same time, this is not a live build, this is a purely CI energy shield build, going over 10,000 energy shield on an assassin, which is really cool. I haven't seen anyone doing that. And at the same time, probably the most important thing is that I emphasize the damage of the FROSTBOLT itself. So what most people do is they just give up on the FROSTBOLT and use it just an utility to kind of push the Ice Nova to the max, and FROSTBOLT just give up on the FROSTBOLT damage and use it just an flying orb with no damage. So what I did instead, I emphasized the damage of both spells, so my FROSTBOLT does pretty much a shit ton of damage comparable to the Ice Nova, and my Ice Nova of course does a lot of damage as well. At the same time, what I did on top of all of it, I've used the new insane Shaper Staffs with both the reworked Inspiration supported a skill gem and a power charge and critical. So this is effectively an 8-link Shaper Staff. I don't know what will happen with the Shaper items in the next patch. We are supposed to have kind of lower availability of these things due to the changing atlas, but for now it works, and the staff itself is pretty cool. I've never seen anyone using this. I know that Matthew kind of tried to get the ideas with this staff. He tried to get the power charging critical, but eventually he also used the Pledge of Hands instead. This is what most people use. They use just Pledge of Hands for the self-casting variation of the build, but I actually use the staff 8-link, which I dropped from one of my Uber Elders, and this kind of magically aligned the build together and allowed me to really do the damage that I need to do. And the last thing to mention is definitely about the Matthew's variation of the build, because he was the first to try this new kind of interaction of Ice Nova, and a Frostbolt. He was the very first to experiment with. I really wanted to do it early on, but I was completely overwhelmed by the amount of content in Path of Exile, and I'm not as fast in creating these builds. I can't play a new build every 2 days simply because I optimize everything to the absolute maximum. I invest a lot of time into min-maxing everything, and it takes a while to create a very solid build. So this is what I did. So Matthew actually get a great job on this build. He played the build 3 times. 2 times he played when World's Mark was available, and it was very easy to play because World's Mark, you can leech mana and health at the same time on spells. Then in 3.7 they nerf World's Mark. Now it only works with attack, so now it's impossible to replenish your leech your mana and to leech health with the spells. So what I did in this build, I got rid of this health at all and just went to CI, and finally I decided I'm gonna try this spell leech with the energy shield, and that's what I'm doing in this build because this is pretty unique, I guess, in a way. So the last thing that Matthew did is he played this build in Blight again. He played as a Raider. He did a great job, but once again he played a Pledge of Hands live build without any sheep or staffs, without energy shield, whatever. But mechanically, technically, it was pretty close to what I use here. I just pushed it a little further and kind of experimented in different areas. That's what I want to show you guys. Here we are in the path of building, guys, and this is my exact character that I have. We will be playing the assassin, and the first thing it will be taking there in the ascendancy is definitely ambush and assassinate. For the critical strikes, having cooling strike, also a lot more crit strike chance against the enemies in full life and low life. That will dramatically help you during the leveling. The next one is Mistwalker, and the third and the fourth will be Unstable Infusion and Deadly Infusion, because it will be running 6 power charges in the build, and 6 power charges means we need to utilize the power of that and get this juicy crit strike multiplier per power charge. So that's about it. So technically this is pretty much a power charge stacking crit energy shield CI version of the assassin. For the most part we'll be trying to stack damage, which is elemental damage, cold damage, as well as as much energy shield as possible, as well as max power charges as possible as well. Originally you will always be playing with the life till you get some kind of a decent chest for the energy shield, like 4,000 or 5,000 energy shield. You can switch from life to yes, but originally you'll be playing with a life. Once you get enough energy shield, like 4,000 or 5,000, like I said, you can completely drop life and just go back to the energy shield, and this is where the real game starts. So start over here, take the elemental damage, transition into this cold-hearted assassination, and grab the juicy soul width. Grab through the bottom, get resourcefulness, then take the Doomcast. This is where you start stacking crit. Take the Radiant Blood. Don't take the Ghost Hero yet, because for the Ghost Hero to be pretty effective you will need kind of a decent amount of ES pool. So then get the Influence, because Influence affects your discipline. Non-cursed auras from your skills has increased effectiveness. This exactly affects the discipline at least. So next thing, take the Essence Surge, stack more crit for the Fraud Seeker, try Snowforged, try Nimbleness for the cast speed, which cast speed is really nice. Take the Melding as well for the yes. I would not go to the bottom during the leveling. It's pretty much the very end game nodes over here, so the first priority is going to the left. So go to the left and take the Heart and Soul as well as Arcanist Dominion. Then go up, take the Annihilation and all the crit chance for spells. Then you can also take Prodigal Perfection, but it's up to you to decide. It's my personal choice. It's just fantastic. Once you have about 2,000 mana, it's also very nice. So go to the left, get Cool Preparation, and go to the Instability for the one more power charge. And the most important thing to take is the Energy from Within, which converts all life to the energy shield, and this is where I'll be transitioning to the energy shield. Like, I realistically and it will completely convert all this life over here and all this life over there down below to the energy shield. Then to the left side again, I get the Light Eater, and this is our source of leech spell damage. This is leech as energy shield. I wanted to kind of try this forever since the very beginning of their work. And the jewels like the energy leech. I wanted to try this thing. It also increases the amount of energy shield you leech. So this is all our pretty much recovery for the most part. Then this is definitely a no-brainer. Super fat, juicy energy shield notes and natural calm. And the last is Serpent Stance, because we will be wielding a staff. After around like 80s, 90s, just try to grab these things down below, which is mostly just ES and more mana and spell damage. And jewels, of course, the jewels, guys, is the last priority. For the anointment, I took Overcharge as an additional source to gain frenzies without the pain in the ass, as well as enduring charges, because I'm not getting any other sources of how I can get this shit. So frenzies and endurance only for this. Power charge, I just naturally generate being an assassin. That's about it. Once it gets a decent amount of energy shield, you can get the cost river to double your leech rate. As you can see, it from 1.2 to about 2.5 thousand. This is where we're becoming really tanky. That's all about the skill tree for now. So this is the gear that I use, guys, in my character. And excuse me for the mistake that I did in the beginning, saying that this is a Shepherd staff. This is an Elder staff, and this is the pretty much power charging critical with inspiration on it. This is an 8-link Elder staff, and the base would be definitely the best with a 100% crit strike chance, but it's incredibly hard to get this. I tried to craft this, it absolutely was non-existing for me. So what I did is I used this one. I dropped this on one of my Uber Elders, and I've been using it ever since. So if you ever find this, just buy it and use it for the build. And one thing I want to mention is that there's not many staffs like this in a trade. There's definitely rare, because this combination of two very solid gems together, and for the most part you will choose just inspiration or power charging critical, but together definitely hard to find, guys. If you ever see this, just buy it. You can multi-mod it, annul it, whatever, just get it while you can. Another option here is definitely the Pledge of Hands. This is what like 99% of people use. It's easy, it gives you great spell echo, which has a lot of shit ton of cast speed for your Ice Nova, and this is what most people use. Also some spell damage, but the damage is like far behind this insane staff, as you can see. So yeah, it's just there. For the helm, nothing specifically, just pure yes helm with resistance and discipline reduced amount of reservation. That's what I have, because nothing else can be useful. I just want to make a little more space for my reservation, because the damage is seriously not an issue. You can get like Frostbolt damage, Ice Nova, AoE, Ice Nova damage, whatever. I don't care. I just want a discipline reservation, so I can potentially fit something like Aspect of the Spider or something else on top. Body armor, guys, this is Val Regale, Shaper based with spell crit. This is what you need to try to achieve. I actually bought this for 8 Exiles. I think it was a fantastic deal, because this has fantastic stats, like 700 plus ES with a tier 1 spell crit. This is just ridiculous. It also has strength, which I need. I'm multi-modding this myself. This is exactly what I need, like perfect chest for this build. So try to get it if you can. Gloves, nothing specifically, just ES resistance, nothing crazy. Boots are just your classic ES boots, nothing specific, again, just move speed, resistance, ES. I crafted Aspect of the Spider just in case I may eventually transition to this as well, because there is a way you can fit this one in as well, just by getting more reservation on the tree. And for the Uber Lab enchant, it's practically just anything. Cast speed, critical strike chance, added cold damage, whatever you can, guys. Whatever, completely up to you. I will try to list something in the build guide, but I just don't have anything, because I bought these boots completely unenchanted, and I haven't never bothered going to the Uber Lab and doing this myself. I might try to go there because when I get bored, but I don't have anything, and it's not big of a deal. The amulet is this. and this is where I allocated overcharge. This is just for the pure stats, because I need strength and a lot of it. Spell damage, cold damage, global crit, guys, energy shield, max ES, resistance. This is just a perfect thing for the build. Two options that you can use is the All Uprising with the hatred reservation. Another one is the All Uprising with the discipline reservation, and the last one is Solstice Vigil. All of this, unfortunately, are life-based, so useless for CI, but this one is kind of useful since it has increased ES, so this one you can use it like the discipline one potentially. For the rings, there are two options, actually, two combinations that you can use. The first combination is the Frostbite ring, with curses enemies with Frostbite and hit, just pure ES ring with something useful and Frostbite. And the second is Circle of Fear with a double Herald of Ice, which is increased cold damage while affected by Herald of Ice, and Herald of Ice has increased buff effect. If you have Herald of Ice, and you will be having Herald of Ice for sure, this ring is pretty much a GG ring. The only problem with this ring is that it's extremely expensive. I honestly just dropped this myself from one of the synthesized bosses. I guess I was lucky, I didn't sell it, so eventually I'm just using this for my build. Another option, which is cheaper and much more affordable, is by using the Elder ring, the Elder Moonstone ring with the Mark of the Shaper. The damage is actually pretty comparable, and it will give you a shit ton of spell damage, also lightning damage to spells, max ES, so it actually gives you a little more energy shield, but the damage is just a little bit lower. Completely up to you. This is what I personally use like in 99% of the cases, because like I said, Circle of Fear ring synthesized is very expensive with a Herald of Ice. I don't know why. Maybe the next league will be cheaper, but for now, I know Ice Shot Deadeye builds made it super expensive, and it's just practically unaffordable for the most of you. But if you can get it, definitely get it, because it gives you, as you can see, like a little more damage. For the belt, this is just crystal belt, and you can get also the mod with increased energy shield from the body armor, which you can also craft on this. I didn't bother, it's just too much investment, too much time. Just the standard ES belt with some mana resistance, whatever, guys. Nothing really important, because you know there's plenty of damage, plenty of ES already in the build. You can min-max with this, do it, but I have this one, it's fine. For the flasks, really quick, a serious promise. Why Zog? Because we'll have a shit ton of cold res, and we'll be penetrating cold resistance. All we have is cold res. Diamond flask for the crit chance, sulfur for the damage, like pure damage, and the last one is probably the most important part of the build, which is the enduring eternal mana of efficiency. And this is this mana mods have been also added. I think it was 3.7, I might be mistaken. This is when they nerfed World's Mark and will rework the mana mods on the flasks. This is extremely important, because its flask effect is not removed at full mana, means you can practically spam your whatever skills you have, like the Ice Nova or the Frostbolt, doesn't matter. This is what most people use now for the hungry mana skills, like the Shock Nova, Ice Nova, whatever, anything practically. This is the exact flask you need to take, guys. You need to find it, you need to buy it. It's very hard to craft this one specifically with two of these mods, but one mod you can craft it, but with two it's just a little bit tricky. So if you see it, just try to buy it. For the jewels, Frozen Trail, additional 2 projectiles for the Frostbolt, a little bit of projectile damage, and also again projectile speed as well, which is nice. One of them, not two is pretty much OP, not needed for this. Another one, like I said, is the energy from within over here to convert this life over here. And the last one is the Watcher's Eye with the clarity to yes, and gain a flash charge when deal critical strike with precision. We'll be using precision as well, because we need a little bit of crit chances, like 1 level precision gives us crit chance. So this is another thing. It's pretty cheap. Watcher's Eye, I think it was like 10 exiles, maybe 13 exiles. So this is your end game thing to go for, guys. Go for it. It gives you like over 10,000 ES. That's about it. So let's go over the skills really quick, guys. And this is the exact setup that I use in my character. This is the 6 link Ice Nova, and first thing I want to tell you is once again, why this build is different from the others is that I use both a fully beefed Ice Nova with a fully beefed Frostbolt. Unlike most people who think that Frostbolt is that kind of shit, it's not important. I don't think so. I want to use both. As you can see, my Frostbolt does like 400k per ball, and I throw like 4 of them in a row, so that's quite a bit of damage. So for the Ice Nova, as you can see, over 1 million deeps with frenzies and everything up. But frenzies, you know, it's kind of sketchy. You might get frenzies, may not get frenzies, but overall still about like 1 million deeps there without any crazy shit happening. So Ice Nova, Cold Pan, Hypothermia, Spell Echo, Energy Leech, and Conk effect on the bosses. For mapping, I just drop Conk effect and switch to the Increase Area effect. That's it. As you can see, we use Energy Shield Leech here, and this is why, because we have Energy Shield CI. This is the biggest DPS you can get for the Energy Shield Leech based character. 6-link Frostbolt, once again Frostbolt, GMP for the mapping, slow projectiles for the bosses, Hypothermia and crit strikes, Unleash, and Energy Shield Leech. Unleash is there for a reason as well. Another trick that I created for this build, because without the Unleash you will not be casting a lot of projectiles. But the way that the build works, and I will show a little later how it works like in the game, is Unleash just save these balls together and allows you to really kind of, you know, replicate and reoccur the cast of the Frostbolt, making it like 4 balls at a time flying in all directions. This is pretty silly, just a lot of damage, guys, and you don't need to spam this. You just cast a row of these balls, just fly. They just fly. You just run over them, casting Ice Nova, and that's about it. I think this is completely underrated, and I've never seen anyone using this. On another 4-link, we have Herald and Skitterbots. Herald Device, Onslaught, probably can get Onslaught once in a while. I actually do. Skitterbots and Enlighten. Skitterbots, like I said, 19% more damage, guys. This is 4-link utility. Phase Run, Dash, Arcane Surge, and Frostbomb. Frostbomb is a debuff, and I cast it manually on bosses only. This is also gives us completely Arcane Surge manually. This is the Golem, and this is the Golem and Auras. This is the Lightning Golem for the cast speed, as well as Discipline sits there with level 1 Precision and Vault Clarity. The reason why I have Clarity here, as you can see, is purely to utilize my Watch's Eye, nothing else. It doesn't really help whatsoever. I have very, very low Clarity here for this reason. Well, even this like kind of is not important. Okay, and this is practically just Frostbite from the ring, and the aspect of the spider I have crafted on my boots. It is disabled because I prefer a little more kind of reservation. As you can see, I go to the minus with this, but you know it can be done with the tree. If you go like over here to the left, you can get it as well, also easy peasy. Alright guys, really quick demonstration of how the whole shit works. You probably saw it during the video already, but just want to show really quick how it works in action. So this is, you can see, 3 seals of Frostbolt with the Unleash, and what I do is I cut this and just run and just completely cast Ice Nova on top. During the maps I do this thing, which is practically this thing, give you more seals. Just run and cast Ice Novas. That's about it. When I do the dash and the phase run, I cast it manually. I get the Arcane Surge. Also plant the Frostbomb manually as well. I always get this shit. As you can see, I also get my inspiration charges over there. Pretty easy peasy. So without the Unleash, it will look like that. Where is this? Without the Unleash, it looks like that. As you can see, just 1 ball. That's about it. This is what like most people use in the game. It's also pretty good, but it only uses 1 ball. But with the Unleash, you see this thing. This is where the real action begins, guys. This is where the real fun begins. So that's it, and don't forget your mana flask as well. So usually it get like this. Just spamming like non-stop. You see my mana doesn't even move because I keep refilling. That's about it. Really quick demonstration for you. Alright guys and girls, I hope you really like the build, and it is actually a lot of fun. It's definitely not for everyone because, you know, it's pretty weird interaction. It's a lot of action. You need to cast like 2 skills constantly. I would not say it's very hard to do. It's pretty flexible, and I would say even pretty relaxed compared to some builds like the Cobra Lash, which is way more active than this build. But, you know, it's a ton of fun. If you've never played something self-cast spells in the game, this is probably one of the best options to try. Not the strongest build in the game, not the weakest skill in the game. I also did the Deathless Uber Elder kill with this. No big problem. I killed overall, I think, like 10 Uber Elders with this build, just to have like the full feeling in how the build works, where are the limits. The damage is absolutely fine, and not an issue at all. All Guardians Deathless, all Elder Shaper Guardians Deathless. Absolutely viable build, guys. And now there's not many self-casting builds in the game that actually offer this kind of damage, so this is probably one of the very few. So definitely try it out if you want something not non-meta. This is probably the build for you. Thanks for watching once again. Hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time.